So, hello and welcome back to another week in World of Warcraft. We're going to run another dungeon today, but first I'm going to actually tell you a little bit about it. I realized that the last one I did was honestly a little bit on the probably boring side since Beryl outlevels these dungeons so high it's not like you have to watch me struggle and fight. But this time, I think I'm going to try and do a little bit of history. So let's jump into the game, and I'll tell you a little bit about the dungeon of Stratholme, and probably a little bit about each boss that we come up to, and we will run through this dungeon. It's kind of an interesting dungeon because it's what they used to consider a super dungeon, which is almost a raid, but not quite. It's really big, it's really easy to get lost, and it's got a couple of secret bosses, one of which is sort of a hit or miss boss who isn't actually there every time that you go in. So we'll see if he's in there this time. And one other hidden boss that's a lot of fun to do because you have to remember to do something at every mailbox before you can actually get to that boss. So let's just go ahead and jump into the game. We're using Beryl again today because she is our hostess. So here we are at the entrance to Stratholme, the dungeon where tragic events happened, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Alright, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about this dungeon, and I am going to be reading this off of the dungeon guide that I located, and it might not be entirely accurate, but it might be as well. Stratholme is a dungeon in World of Warcraft whose entrance is located in the Eastern Plaguelands, which you can see right here. We are right here in the Eastern Plaguelands. Um, the only achievements that you can get in this dungeon are the ones for just completing the dungeon. There's no special achievements that you can get. There is some interesting loot that will help you if you are in any of the different crafting professions. A lot of the mobs in here drop like Ichor of Undeath and a couple other interesting little things. Like I said, there are several hidden bosses, but there are 13 bosses between the two dungeons, the one that we did last week and the one that we did this week. I think there's only, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Looks like seven in this dungeon, and the rest are in the dead side of the dungeon, where it has probably the best piece of loot, and that is the death charger that you can get off of the final boss, which unfortunately we didn't get. So let's go ahead and get into this dungeon and see what's going to happen. Alright, as you can see, you come in and you have the main gate. Now, as you come in into the main gate for the first time, most of these people are going to have quests for you, and the quests are really good because they help kind of guide you through what you need to do in each section of the dungeon. Now, one thing that you do need to remember is if you do want to fight the boss, which is kind of one of the secret bosses of the postman, you have to be sure as you come in, any mailboxes that you see, you need to remove the mail from. And if you don't do that, you will not get that boss. And of course you want that boss, because, hey, you want to get them all. It's kind of like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. So we're going to keep an eye out and see if we see any mailboxes as we go along. Now, one other thing that's a lot of fun and we will be doing when we go over to Kalmandor, and I keep mentioning it just because it's one of those things. Oh, forgot to mention, you can also kill these spectral citizens. don't actually have to, but you know, why not? Um, but one really fun thing that I really enjoy doing is going over to Kalmandor and running this dungeon, which is the Culling of Stratholme, which lets you see this entire city before Arthas purged it and before it became a ruin filled with the undead. One other thing that you have to keep an eye out for in these dungeons in the old world is these treasure chests, and if you happen to be a rogue like Beryl, you can loot them. Otherwise, you have to have keys or something along those lines, or you just can't actually get the treasures that are in them, and sometimes there's some really good treasures in these, which is kind of awesome. Now, I'm going to check the map, which is always something you should check. And you can see this is the boss that's not always here, and I don't know if he's up on the screen or if my face is in the way. It kind of looks like my face is in the way. But that is Hearthsinger Forsen. Forsten. The Culling of Stratholme claimed the lives of innumerable people whose only crime was being inside of the doomed city. A traveling singer and piccolo player named Forsten was one such victim. He continues to wander the city in death, unable to accept his tragic fate. So that is one, and I don't think he's actually in this dungeon all the time. But like I said, that is one of them, and there is one of the mailboxes that we need to go and loot. So let's go and open this mailbox. When you open it, you can take the package if you want, but the big thing you need to do is make sure to kill these postmen. They have no loot for you, but if you don't open all of the mailboxes and kill all of these postmen, you can't kill that final boss. Alright, after we nuked our way through this section, you approach this gate right here, and we're gonna open it up. Make sure that nobody comes popping out, which does happen sometimes. Rats and other various things have been known to come popping out of dark corners in this game. Just gonna go through and kind of nuke these guys, check for another mailbox, because I don't have where they all are memorized. You would think I would do that, but I don't, unfortunately. But, you know, I know that they're all... Oh! Well, I didn't even see that he was there, but evidently Hearthsinger Fortison was there, and I didn't even see it. Well, what do you know? Sometimes when you're moving a little bit too fast... Yeah, he was supposed to be up here. Well, the map lied. Just gonna put that right up there. What did he give us? Anything good? Let's find out. We got some pants that we can't wear and a necklace. Nothing good for transmog, unfortunately. Which is pretty much all you do these dungeon runs for, is different materials and items that you can wear that look nice. Kind of like the cute little purple outfit that Beryl is wearing right now that kind of makes her look like an adventurer. Alright, I don't see any mailboxes, so let's just kill some more things. I do love this game, not even gonna lie. I mean, I don't actually love doing dungeons and things if... I don't mind doing dungeons at level where they're very, very challenging, as long as I'm with a group of people that I'm, like, friends with and we're all kind of in communication with each other. Because then it's a lot of fun. But running through the dungeons with just random people is not something I actually enjoy. Alright, we are approaching the next boss, since I accidentally killed the first one, the Unforgiven. And the little blurb on the Unforgiven is Lilia was a blade of righteousness among her people. After Arthas commanded his forces to purge the city, her sanity was ripped apart from seeing countless innocents die by her hand. She fell on her sword to escape the madness around her, and she now exists as a spectral being, forever denied absolution for her heinous acts. Also, we were just discovered by this Eye of Naxxramas, who is letting everyone know that there is someone alive here. So basically what you do is you just sort of show up here and all of a sudden, there she is, the Unforgiven. And from her we got some bracers that we can't wear and some pauldrons that we can't wear, so huzzah. You gotta love running through these dungeons. The other thing that is a lot of fun about running these dungeons is basically just making money. And not so much in the vanilla dungeons, but a lot of the other dungeons. Oh no, yep, and there is the Postmaster, and we will read about him now that he is dead. He is our next boss, and we took him out pretty quick, but I don't think he actually has a write-up anywhere, so let me see if I can look one up. Hang on. Alright, well, we don't actually have a lot of info on Postmaster Malone. He was once the postmaster of Stratholme, but when the Scourge attacked, he was unable to escape, and he now haunts the city, making sure that no one tampers with the mail. The one thing that people do like to go into this dungeon for is he does have a kind of unique postmaster's outfit that you can get if you are lucky enough, and if you also are a cloth wearer. And that is the postmaster's boots, trousers, and tunic. He also drops a ring, which is good if you're leveling, and his postmaster's hat. I don't think that we got any of that. Let's find out. What did we get off of him? We got bracers that aren't the right ones. Too bad. Anyway, we are going to move on to the next boss. Now, the next boss that we are going to encounter in this dungeon is Timmy. And Timmy, or Timison, was infamous for his savagery on the field of battle. Some speculate that his sadism stemmed from the ceaseless bullying that he endured as a child. Now reborn as a scourge monstrosity with his mind shattered, he is tormented by those memories of bullying, causing him to answer only to the name he once hated of Timmy. I know one of the things that you can get from him if your character is a gun user, which most of, my hunters are, is he does drop Timmy's pea shooter, which is a weapon, a rifle, and it has sort of a kind of unique look to it. Now, Beryl being a rogue, she pretty much only uses daggers. As you can see, she is very good at throwing. And so, even if we get that, it won't really matter much. But there is Timmy the Cruel up ahead. Let's zoom in on him and actually take a look at him. Also, you can see all around Stratholme are these poor cursed souls who burn to death. We'll take a look at them. We got the Cruel Hand of Timmy, which is a mace, and a nice noose. But yeah, if you go around Stratholme, you can see all of the Stratholme citizens burned out, dead. It really is a tragic place, and now it's just a place that people run in and loot. It's even more tragic when you actually go in and participate in Arthas's culling of it. Now we are about to, after we run around here really quick and kill some stuff, I can't help it. I just kind of have to kill everything. It's a compulsion. It makes me happy. Probably says something about my personality, I'm not sure. I don't think we have any bosses over here, so we're just gonna go ahead and kill these little nobodies and move along. I do remember running these dungeons with friends back when it was very, very difficult and we died a lot. Now, it's just kind of something you do on a Tuesday night, hopefully to entertain a few people. You never know. Anyway, our next boss is going to be Commander Mellor. Mellor and a handful of other courageous warriors risked everything to protect the Scarlet Bastion from being desecrated by the undead. Tragically, they failed. Balnazar corrupted the fearless commander into one of his servants, transforming the zealot into a mockery of what he once was. It's tragic. It actually is. You know, I think I've said it about 1,000 times, but the stories in World of Warcraft are mostly pretty dang tragic, and also pretty good. I think the most frustrating thing about World of Warcraft is how often they retcon stuff, or, go back and just change things. So there's Commander Mellor. He definitely does not look all that happy to see us. I guess we should put him out of his misery. One other thing that is a lot of fun in here is a lot of these books are readable. Also, Mellor has a strong box over here that we are going to unlock and get his whole 1 copper. But if you have time, you can come in here and just read all of these basically historical tomes. And a lot of them you can only read in Stratholme or in some of the other dungeons. So it's kind of neat. One thing I really love doing is after you finish running the dungeon, since the enemies are gone, you can just kind of spend some time just running around, reading everything, poking into all the corners, checking out all of the details that the game developers put into these games. And trust me, they've put a lot of details into these games, which is really awesome. Alright, our next boss that we are going to go after is Willy Hopebreaker. Balnazar took great pleasure in leveraging this cannon master. Willy's destructive capabilities in Undeath were unparalleled. Calling his prized minion the name of Hopebreaker, Balnazar the Dreadlord relishes that he has twisted Willy and the other Scarlet Crusaders, who despise the undead, into becoming undead pawns themselves. So, let's go see this cannon master. I can't remember if it's this dungeon or if it's one of the others around here, but there's actually a dungeon down here that is so much fun because you can kill these clerks and they drop money. They just drop piles of gold that you can run around and loot, and it is great fun. Also, there are blacksmithing plans down here. Now, Barrel's not a blacksmith, but if you are a blacksmith, I think this is the only place that you can pick up the plans for. I don't even know if I was able to pick them up. Nope, I wasn't. Which is too bad. But if you are a blacksmith, I think it's plans for a unique weapon that's down here. And it is really worthwhile to come down and get. Also, like I said, once you get these guys killed and can look around, you can really appreciate just all of the detail. Now, as we go over here, Willy is going to start shooting at us with his cannon, which, trust me, that was a lot of a problem back when I was on a level with him.
Fire!
Willy, just like everybody else down here, is now undead. I think you can also get the Scarlet Crusade armor set if you are a plate wearer down here. And I know that's why a lot of people actually run these dungeons. Yep, I got the Mantle of the Scarlet Crusade, which is kinda spiffy. Again, I can't wear it. Beryl wears leather and not cloth or plate or mail. And I really do like the idea of leather armor, but I feel like I'd never actually end up getting anything good in dungeon runs. It's alright though. Life goes on. Now I think we only have two more bosses. We have Instructor Gelford and the final boss, the big demon Balnazar. So let's move along and get to them. Killing all of these Scarlet Crusaders as we go, because why not? It's a lot of fun. This dungeon at level is probably not the hardest dungeon. They've introduced a lot of mechanics to make things a lot harder, but still a pain in the butt. So, nice little room. The Scarlet Crusade was sort of, they were kind of the Inquisition of World of Warcraft, and in the RP world, a lot of people play them as some super zealots, basically, which makes sense. They were monks, they took everything a bit too far. Now, if we wanted to sit and waste some time, not really waste time, I don't think any of it is a waste, you can read the book The Birth of the Lich King, Kel'Thuzad and the Forming of the Scourge, and the Lich King Triumphant. It's a really good way to go back and find a lot of the history, especially if you don't want to hit the bookstores and get all of the World of Warcraft books that there are. Hey, no, 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 I want to kill you. Come back. Come back, come back here. I want to kill you. Thank you. Nobody's allowed to get away. I am a one-woman army here. Now we're gonna go kill this instructor. Oh, he's got a nice room. Check that out. I'm not too worried about him, but he is going to do all sorts of exciting things here. I guess we'll kill him. But yeah, check out his room. That is pretty spiffy. He obviously was a hunter in life. This painting right here, in case you didn't know, if you are doing the quests, if this is your first time running through the dungeon, don't forget to grab this painting. It is one of the things that you need to turn in for the quests. Alright, we are to our final boss, but I realize I forgot to read all about the instructor, so let's do that really quick. Now that he's dead. Gelford once took great pride in caring for the Crusade's most valuable documents. However, as he lay dying, he watched in horror as his precious tomes were burned around him. Balnazar used this painful memory to imbue his servant with the fiery power that ravaged Gelford in life. You gotta appreciate all of this. Alright, we are on our final boss. So, Balnazar. Balnazar has never tasted true death, but he has suffered bitter defeat. After the cataclysm rocked the world, he slaughtered the Scarlet Crusaders in Stratholme and transformed them into the undead creatures that they once hated. The Dreadlord now plots his machinations for vengeance upon Azeroth. Well, he won't be plotting those for very much longer, 'cause we're gonna kill him. So let's take him out, and then we will poke around and look around this room. Sure didn't get much, but we're gonna take a seat here and watch everybody come in and tell us how awesome we are. Or something along those lines. Then we're just going to, I will run back out of the dungeon and we'll see how much gold we made. Since I don't think we made a whole heck of a lot of other interesting things, but we made some money. And that always counts for a whole heck of a lot, especially in World of Warcraft. Money is always good. So, I will meet you outside the dungeon and we'll go through our loot pile. Alright, we are back outside of the dungeon, and I have mounted up on my happy little yak to see what we ended up with. So, I had 94,683 gold to start with, and we're gonna sell all of our gains here and see what we ended up with. I think we're just gonna go ahead and sell everything. I don't think there was anything that I got that I really needed to keep. There might have been a few things that I could have wanted for appearances, but I'm not seeing anything that says that I don't already have it. We are going to open up those 2 lockboxes, though, and see if there's anything cool inside of those, because you never know. How are we doing here? Actually, not too bad. We're making some pretty decent money. Granted, there are a lot of people that probably would sell this stuff on the auction house. I'm not all that great at selling stuff on the auction house. It's just not really my thing. So, oh, that was dumb. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to unlock these. I'll lockpick that one. And then we are going to lockpick that one. That is the best part of having a rogue, is being able to open these boxes. And we will see what we got, if it was anything worthwhile. Got a greater maul of the fire flash and some spalders that we already had. Oh well, let's go ahead and sell those off really quick, and then we will see what we ended up with. And I've already forgotten how much gold I had to start. So hopefully somebody was paying attention, because now we have 94,744 gold. Not sure how much we made, but I know we made at least some, which I always find to be completely worthwhile. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this dungeon run. Next week it is back to exploration, and we are going to be moving on down to the western, not the Eastern Plaguelands, silly. Good job, me. I'm doing great. We're gonna do the Western Plaguelands. It's a little bit less undead wandering around in the Western Plaguelands. It's starting to be healed, and it is a place that is filled with so many cool little pockets. And a lot of really fun quests that hopefully I'll remember at least some of the quest lines that I will point you at, maybe if you haven't done them before. There's also, I think, 2 houses that almost qualify as houses there, so we'll do a little real estate with Beryl. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this dungeon run. We didn't get anything spectacular, but hopefully you enjoyed it. and I will see you next time. If there was anything that you know about Stratholme that I missed, let me know. Also, if there's anything you would like to see in the future, also let me know. And if you have any memories of Stratholme, if you are a World of Warcraft player, I am definitely interested to hear about your memories of Stratholme back in the old days when it was hard and new and you needed keys to open up the mailboxes and all of those other exciting things. But until then, I will see you next week. Have a good one.